Hey everyone, welcome back to the Law of Attraction Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith, and today I have Angela Jean with us, and she is going to be sharing how rhythm and micro movements can rewire the nervous system. I'm so used to saying the subconscious mind, but the nervous system and transform survival patterns into self-mastery. So, Angela, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what led you to this work in the first place?
So my story of discovering manifestation is actually probably a lot different than everybody else's. I have a childhood being raised by women with mental health issues, and I've had multiple suicides in my immediate family, including my dad and my sister. In the process of healing, I wanted to learn and understand the momentum of the mind. I wanted to learn how to control the momentum of the mind because that's the negative spiral that leads to suicide, right? And how to redirect the negative thought patterns. In the process of that, I became a powerful manifester because it really became just, I wanted to be the chain breaker in my family, so to speak. You know what I mean? I
Hmm.
was the one that nothing was taking me down. So I dedicated the last 15 years to understanding the momentum of the mind. And with that came quantum physics, subconscious patterns, training neural pathways, what neural networks were, all the lingo, So that's how I discovered manifestation.
Okay, well, I'm so sorry to hear that you went through all of that in your family. And I would imagine, I don't know how old you were when these things occurred, but I would imagine that that would just be something that would kind of throw your nervous system into a state of just complete panic. And I'm sure that that could play out, all throughout life. And so, where'd you go from there? Like maybe you can start to get into a little bit of, I know you have your method that's a little bit different from the traditional mindset work. So maybe you can kind of walk us through that and, like what's the first step for healing?
Obviously, when we go through our healing journey, we have to deal with ourself, right? So what I was struggling with was negative thought patterns. I was dealing with the negative spiral of negative thoughts as well, and I didn't want to end up like my family. So the first thing I was trying to understand is how to stop the spiral, how to stop the momentum of the mind, and I truly couldn't. And I am anti any type of medication. That's
Mhm.
why I'm very anti-therapy as well. That's a different story, but I
Oh,
wanted to
interesting. I am too.
Oh, really? What's your
Yeah,
reason
well, I
for being
just feel like
anti-therapy?
I don't want to say like I'm anti, like I think it just depends on the situation and the therapist, but I think we spend a lot of times in therapy just focusing over and over and over again on the problem. Therefore, the problem keeps manifesting over and over and over again. And I just
Exactly.
like when you said that, it just registered because I came across something recently and it was like we followed like Freud, but there was like, other thought leaders at that time and psychologists that were saying no, like focus on the future and where we're going and stop revisiting the past over and over and over again. So it's just
Yeah.
interesting because you're the first person I've heard that's just like, yeah, I don't agree with it.
Oh, I am the black sheep of therapy. I call myself that.
I
I
love
say
that.
marinating in your problems is a sure way to get stuck in them.
Yeah,
You believe in
absolutely.
manifestation. It's manifestation is quantum creation. And in quantum physics, focused particle flow is what brings something from the quantum to the Newtonian world, right? It takes 6 to 8 weeks of focusing on what you want. Every manifestation coach will tell you this in a different way, whether it's Abraham Hicks, which talks about focus on only what you want, Neville Goddard that says focus on the feeling. No one is saying focus on the past, focus on your problems, and that's how you're going to find your way. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, yeah, and I think that's why people will spend decades in therapy and feel stuck. And, now we have I've seen like a lot of people are talking about using AI as like their therapist and they're like, I'm having one like massive breakthrough in one session that I haven't had in 20 years of therapy. But it's like, well, yeah, because if you keep just revisiting the past and the problem,
Mhm.
how it's just going to keep manifesting throughout your life in different patterns. So I didn't mean to derail us. I was just excited because
No,
I feel
it's
the same way.
there's flow is flow. There's no derailing ever.
Yeah.
But to circle back to the nervous system training, and actually maybe let's just stay on this topic because this is where we landed. The thing about talking about your problems is it also keeps your nervous system locked up in survival.
Hmm.
If you're locked in survival, you cannot receive or hold. If you don't feel safe to receive, if you don't feel safe to hold, you can call things in, but then you sabotage them. You might meet the guy and then you have 10 reasons why he's not the guy. You might get the job opportunity and be like, find an excuse. People don't understand what's actually happening in that moment is that you don't feel safe to hold. You don't feel safe to receive. You are releasing it. People that make a lot of money and spend it, they might think they're celebrating. They're not. They aren't comfortable holding money. So this nervous system, any nervous system locked in survival cannot receive. And I truly believe that when we sit and marinate in our problems, talk about our problems, go to therapy, we are reliving the trauma.
I 100% agree. That was sort of a realization I had, really like all throughout 2024, just with
Mhm.
working with a lot of people and seeing everyone is in this sort of like frenzied state when it comes to manifesting. Like, well, I have to manifest it. And what am I doing wrong? Maybe I'm not doing this enough. Maybe I'm not asking for it clear enough. And it's almost like this very anxious state.
Mhm.
And then we wonder like why it's not manifesting, but we just keep playing out the same anxious scenarios over and over and over again because our society is just set up that way. Like we are so programmed to believe you have to work really, really hard and reach stress and burnout if you're going to be successful. And you have to constantly be doing. And like if you slow down or you rest, then you're lazy. And I just think so many of us are in this state where our nervous system is fried because we have not taken the time or don't know how to get out of that and slow down and regulate ourselves.
That's very true. And the bigger problem is I have so many friends that come to me and they ask me what to do, and I tell them, and they refuse to believe it's this easy. Again, even with healing, they think it has to be hard, expensive, they have to hate it. Nervous system training is something that's very subtle. You just have to train it constantly. And literally, it takes like 30 seconds, 1 minute. Every time you have a stressful conversation, if you're going through a breakup, your nervous system does not need another story. You don't have to talk to your friend. It needs a signal. All you have to do is train. I'll show you how to do it once we move forward a little bit, but train the nervous system that it's safe. And then anytime you have a stressful moment, you can drop right in because your body remembers. I don't know what author it was, but it says your body holds the score. It also remembers, like it remembers the feeling of safety. So I still do it every single day, and my life's great. It doesn't matter. I always do my nervous system training because I have learned how powerful it is. And ever since I started doing it, the manifestations I am calling in are just like mind blowing, but more so, I'm able to hold it and receive it. Like, yeah, I deserve this.
Yeah.
It shifts your state of being, it shifts you out
Yeah.
to survival.
Well, that's what I say all the time is like manifesting isn't about doing, it's about being. It's
Yeah,
about shifting your state of being. But you're so right where people resist that so much because again, we're so programmed to think, well, it has to be hard. It can't be that easy. If it were that
totally.
easy, everyone would do it. And it's just really interesting that we like talk ourselves out of the solution, you know?
We fight to suffer.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's a real thing. Happens all the time.
It really does. It really does. What's interesting so I say there's two things that are really important. Obviously, your nervous system decides what you get to keep. Your self-concept, which is your identity, decides what's possible for you. So when you just said it's about being,
Hmm.
we do have to train the state of being. So it isn't just being as we are.
Hmm.
We have to become, it's like, I don't want to say become a better version of ourselves. You have to just become the version of you that gets what you want. So if you're someone that wants love, what can you do to start activating that code within you? You're going to
Right.
move differently. You're going to walk differently. You're going to talk differently. You're going to think differently. When your friends are sitting around having cocktails, talking about dating and love, once you've started the training, you do respond differently. You feel differently when people are talking about it. You have a different thing to comment. It really, when you start training a state of being, you shift your state of being. You do become a different version of yourself. You think differently about love. You think differently about success. It is an
Yeah.
internal shift. But without the nervous system training, you can shift that, but you still have to be able to hold it and receive it. It really is the perfect husband and wife. You know what I mean? You need them both. You need them both agreeing, moving in the same direction.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's an internal shift, and I think we have it so backwards because it we go about it a lot of times like, well, I'm gonna manifest the perfect relationship and
Yeah.
then I'll be happy. But it's no,
Mhm.
like you have to get that internal state first, or you're not going to attract, the right relationship. It's just like everything is sort of backwards, and it all comes from this internal, state of being. So maybe talk a little bit about, I want to hear about your soul sync method. Is this where you couple the like identity work and nervous system, or how does it
I
work?
do. Let me say something about one thing what you were just saying. For women that are looking for love, the one thing I say to exercise the state of being is to start dating aggressively because it allows you the opportunity to communicate better, to be vulnerable, to watch your triggers. You know what I mean? You really have to see where you're at, and nothing reveals that quicker than dating. When someone blows you off, what is the negative self-talk that comes up? You're not good enough, they're not good enough, and that's where your entry point is. That's when you start working on yourself and you really start building out the person that's able to hold and attract the partner and the love that you want. If
It's
you
a great
believe
way to
that
figure out
everything's
what you don't want too.
and when you know what you don't want,
Hmm.
we are crystal clear on what we don't want. I also say that in my coaching. When you know what you don't want, write it down and then
Yeah.
take the contrast to give you clarity and only focus on the side of the list that you want. Throw
Yeah.
the other side away. That's the beauty of going on a horrible date. You're like, oh my God, I hate this.
Right.
Good.
Like
Write
maybe
it.
he checked this box and this box, but I wasn't
Mhm.
even thinking about this box. And so now you
Totally.
can think about that. Yeah.
I mean, even etiquette has been magnified. I'm like, ew. Well, I care about that now.
Right. Didn't notice
You
it
could really,
before, but now
I
it's a
call it
really big deal.
dating's like a build a boy workshop. You can literally build a boy. And vice versa, fellas. If there's any guys listening, same thing with us.
Yeah. Yeah, but it does go back to, and I think that's great advice. And it's like, I think um who is it? I think it's Tony Robbins that says to build confidence, you have to take action. And I do agree with that. And I think the more you're putting yourself out there, like you're building that confidence within yourself, and you're helping to work on that inner state too. And so it's something that can take some time. Like you were saying earlier, it takes some practice. You have to rewire a lot of things. And it's not like it's hard. You're saying it could be as little as 30 seconds, but it's something that has to be consistent, right?
1000%. Yeah. And especially when you're training a state of being because you've been the version of you for so long, that version of you is always going to win. You know what I mean? So you really do have to treat it like training in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
If you're someone trying to build confidence, go out, make sure you make eye contact with everyone, hold your shoulders, like, you know what I mean? Talk first. Like, and it's painful. I went through that. I used to be so shy that I had to create an alter ego because I was so tired of being numbingly shy when I walked into a room. And I can still to this day remember how it felt, how when I was like, it was just painful on the inside, holding my head up and smiling and acting confident. But eventually, that version of you, you will become that version of you. It has to be trained consistently.
Oh, it's funny how you say like you remember how it felt, because I was that way too. I
Totally.
was like the most shy person, and I right out of college went into sales. Like
Oof.
worst thing for a well, like best thing for a shy person, because again, you have to train yourself to become comfortable with it. But same thing, like I remember that feeling. It's like your body will remember. And then
Walks
it's
up.
interesting how like a song or something, or like whenever I hear the ringtone of like the phone I had back at that time, I will get anxiety to this day just hearing that ringtone. It's like it takes me right back there. I'm like, whoa, it's
That's what
wild.
I mean. Like that's funny that you say that because that's why I focus on multi-sensory training. You know what I mean? You want to hear it, you want to feel it, you want to move, you want to write. Like you have to hit it from every single angle when you're trying to shift your state. I truly believe in that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay, so how do you do that?
So, so I call it the soul sync reset. I'm hyper focused on micro resets. because what we're talking about, I believe, should be trained every hour. I think every hour you take 2 minutes to remind yourself of the person you want to be, right? You circle yourself back. Oh, yeah, love's that way, confidence that way, success is that way, because we're in the habitual pattern of being the we that we are, right? So you have to constantly train the state of being. That's why my micro resets and my sessions are literally 2 minutes. We
So what
begin.
do you put like
But
a reminder in your phone? I'm
I
just
do.
curious, like for every hour, because I would not remember unless I had a reminder in my phone.
I'm aggressive. I would like you to do it morning and night. I'm aggressive when I want to do something. I'm like I was an athlete my whole life, so when I want to do something, I do have a reminder on my phone every hour. It doesn't necessarily have to be to do the session, but it's a question asking me like, what state of being am I being right now? Am I embodying the state of being I want to be? What can I do right now to embody her? What can I do right now to speak like her? Can I get up and walk like her? You know what I mean? So it's little
Yeah.
cues that
I
I put in
like
my
that because it's
hourly.
like bringing you into the present moment too. You know,
Totally.
as you're drifting and going right back into old habits, it helps to like pull you back to right here, right now. How are you being? How are you feeling? How are you showing up?
Also, think about this. When, like I said, we're doing this podcast. You're building your podcast. I'm building my business as well. Right now, we are doing, and it's
Right?
easy to get caught up in the doing all day. But what does the doing signal to our manifestation? That we aren't really her yet. You know what I mean? So there, you need to pump the brakes and be like, okay, I'm already successful. I already have the clients I want. I'm already inspiring millions. But remind yourself of that, and then go back into your daily tasks. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
when you're doing, you're chasing. You're energetically
Mhm.
chasing the you want to be. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Oh, it makes so much sense. When I was in my corporate job, I had this boss that I could not stand, and she really couldn't stand me either. But she would always tell me that. She'd be like, Stephanie, you have to slow down to speed up. And I would get so pissed when she would say that. And I'd be like, no, like I do not have time to slow down. And I was so like, no, 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 I gotta go, go, go and do, do, do. And now, I mean, she was right.
But
It's
she never
after
elaborated.
no, she didn't really get the full picture. I think she was just trying to say like something that she probably heard at like a leadership meeting or something. So it didn't really land well. But now I get it. Now, you know, years later.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Isn't it funny the things we remember?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's funny what your mind filters out too. That's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So as far as the soul sync reset, how this works, how anyone doing any manifestation practice, whether you guys sit down to journal, whether you sit down to do your affirmations, if you don't do a nervous system reset, this is why the changes and the transformation won't stick. Because your nervous system is bracing. And when it's bracing, it's not open. That's why you can do your affirmations, you can do your journals, you can feel good for the day, but then you go back to feeling like shit again
Yeah.
because your nervous system really, it wasn't really open to receive. And even when we do a nervous system reset, that opening is 30 seconds to 3 minutes before your nervous system starts scanning for threats, locks back up. So these windows are small. Obviously, as you train, it will become the new state of being. But in the beginning, that window is short, which is why when we do the nervous system reset, the I say self-concept, but for some reason people are liking identity shift better. The identity shift audios.
Hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take it that. The point being, the reason why the audio right after is really short is because that window is so small. So
Okay.
they're intended to be on back to back. When you do the nervous system reset, you have to signal safety to your body. You use the body to train the mind. It is very simple. You do it with swaying. There's a guided audio. You can learn to do this on your own.
Mhm.
You will do that for 30 seconds. And when you create a pendulum effect with your body, even if you're just swaying, and if all you do is sync your breath to the sway, the movement's important. The movement's important because what it signals to your body is that you're safe. Because
Right.
when you're moving slow, you're not running. There's no threat.
Hmm.
There's nothing to rush for. There's nothing to brace for. So that sway is like so important. And you'll know when you feel safe. It literally is the same as when you're trying to rock a baby that's crying. What do? We naturally know to rock the baby.
Right.
So we're essentially reparenting our nervous system. You really have to think about it like that. Like you're
Hmm.
reparenting your nervous system. Pretend like you're swaying a baby until it calms down. And when it calms down and it stops crying, you feel it. I'm sure you do, your mother. You feel the sync, you feel the energetic sync. You will
Yeah.
feel that inside your nervous system. And that's when you're ready to embed the new code. That's when you do your rhythmic affirmations right after. And it needs to be very intentional with what you're working on. If you're working on love, if you're working on confidence, if you want to build success goals, I like to focus on one at a time for 30 days. That way, you're able to really embody that state of being and shift your state of being and really become the person you need to be to attract that manifestation, to call it in, to hold it, to receive it. It's just really, even just now when I was doing that, I got so calm, I could barely finish what I was saying to you.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like,
I put
I'm not
myself in
the
a
one
trance.
rocking back and forth, but I'm watching you on the video
Mhm.
do it. And I'm like, I feel so calm. And I'm like, I feel like you're hypnotizing me. It's like,
I was
you
like,
know,
you
it
you
feels
put
good though.
yourself
I feel very relaxed.
you put yourself in a self-induced trance. You do. It feels
Yeah.
good.
I mean, but seriously, like that's how fast. You only did it for a few seconds. And not only are you feeling it, I'm feeling it.
You were feeling. It's funny thing is, like I
Mhm.
said, I've been doing it, so I drop right in. I can feel it immediately, and that's the lovely part of training. Like it gets the time you have to spend on it is shorter and shorter. And the bigger thing about all of this, you guys, yeah, we all want to manifest love and money and all this stuff. The biggest thing is when you have a system like this in place, it allows you to feel your feelings fully, like love hard, cry hard, feel it all because you have the tools to recalibrate and bring yourself back to baseline. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I think that the world isn't loving hard enough anymore, and they're missing out on so much joy, you know? No one's dating,
Well,
everyone's so hyper independent, and everyone's so cool and so tough and alone. We aren't wired to be like that.
right. Yeah, and I think that's part of the conditioning too. Like I can't even count how many times as a kid I was told like you're too emotional, you're too emotional. And it was
Mm,
just this belief that you can't show your emotions. But then I got
yeah.
older and I realized, well, when you don't, then they come out eventually, but it'll be like in a nasty way. Like just instead of just letting it flow, it's like you hold it and hold it and hold it until you're like a pot of boiling water that just starts boiling over, you know? And I think we need to definitely send that message that it's okay to process these things and to feel it. And I think that can be a misconception in the manifestation community. Like, well, I can't be angry or cry. And it's like, well, yeah, you're a human being. Like, of course, you're gonna go through all the emotions. But when you try to suppress it because you want to just be super positive, it's just gonna like fester, you know?
Well, I will say that pain and anger are the most powerful energy for manifesting. And I have a pattern interrupter that I do. Ooh, girl, whoever's listening, when you are angry or when you're crying and you're just in it, that is the most powerful entry point ever. What I suggest people doing is when they're angry, like feel it, feel it, feel it. You clap really hard. You rub your hands together like this and you go like this. You will have and I can even feel it right now. You will have an energy ball that is so ready to be transformed. And because you're so angry and you know exactly what you don't want, you flip the script and you speak what you want into that energy ball and you just kind of play with it until it dissipates and that energy has been transformed and released and set out into the ether. So like I look forward to my triggers. I'm like, let's do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
really powerful. Like I love people that still feel their emotions deeply. You just have to learn how to harness it and transform it and use it because that is power beyond measure.
Oh, I love it. I love
To
it.
have access to your anger like that, to have access to your pain. Mm.
Yeah. Well, and I think about like, I don't know if you ever read any of Brene Brown's books. I didn't get super into her, but there was something she said that always stuck with me where in all the research she did, she found that connection to other people where you build like a bond and trust and like connect with human beings like we're supposed to do happens through vulnerability. But she was saying like it's such a big problem in our society because we are trained to not be vulnerable and to really guard ourselves and put up this wall. And if and when you start breaking that down and becoming vulnerable, like you will have better connections in your
Totally.
life.
Especially in intimate relationships. I will tell you that has been the game changer with the relationship I'm in now. Because I've done so much work, I'm able to sit in my vulnerability without feeling weak. and oh, I'm such a loser. I'm so weak. And I'm able to also communicate it beautifully. And what it does is it really allows him to lean into his masculine energy in we're just like we're just like floored with each other. The way I've inspired his masculinity and he's inspired my femininity, when it's done right, wow. It's like it just makes you feel just so full with love. It makes you look forward to just building and bonding. And it's really an unbelievable feeling.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. So I want to step back for 1 second and just make sure I'm understanding it correctly.
Yes.
So you start out with the rhythm, the movement, and then once you get that going, then you bring in the affirmation.
I have a sample on my website, and I can also give you one to give to your viewers for free, so they can experience it. It starts out, everything's guided. These audios are guided. So there'll be a
Okay.
guided
Hmm.
nervous system reset. I will tell them what to do, and I also speak as I'm going. Like you don't have to carry the courtroom in your body. You don't have to brace for no. You don't have to prepare for no, like things like that, things that we all think of. I'm kind of guiding it. And then we shift the state. That's when we move into the self-concept reset as soon as the body is calmed. And it's about 2 minutes and then another 2 minutes. Obviously, they would choose their self-concept audio based on what they're doing. So they customize it themselves. My
Oh,
demo
that's
is
cool.
one that's for inner authority because I think it's very important that people start to to harness their inner authority, which means like, who are you in this world? You
Hmm.
better claim your identity because if you don't, the world's going to assign you one, especially with AI coming out, especially with the degree that we are fed media these days. If
Hmm.
you don't decide who you are, the world is going
Yeah.
to decide for you. And if you don't decide, you will never be able to move towards the life that you desire. So I say, training your inner authority is huge. Start taking up space in this world. And when I have people do their affirmations, I advise them like open your arms, get big, take up space. I really use the body to train the mind. I do a lot of balancing training also. If you can't balance, if someone bumps into you and you fall, you know what I mean? That's not taking up space. It means you have a weak foundation.
Hmm.
Really, you need to like stand in your power. And so using the body to train the mind is very powerful. So we do the self-concept reset and then you're done. It's a really fun experience. Like I'm gonna give you some of my audios. They're high, they're like upbeat pop songs. Some are aggressive, some are for love, some are for power. I have a music background. I sang for 10 years on tour, so
Oh,
they're
perfect.
yeah, they're really good. And then also, the thing about rhythmic affirmations is this is something that's very important, you guys, for anyone that's listening, for anyone that says affirmations. Here's the biggest thing about affirmations. You have to realize that you're going up against like 200,000 years of primal coding, right? The affirmations that you're feeding to your system are basically competing with a nervous system that's wired for survival. That's why sometimes if you don't feel loved and you're sitting there saying affirmations like, I am loved, you're doing more harm than good. You're creating cognitive dissonance because if you don't feel loved and you're trying to force yourself to say that you're loved, you're creating a dissonance within the body. And the only way to truly manifest is everything has to be pointing in the same direction. What you say, what you think, what you feel, what you do. That's why with my affirmations, they're very strategic words. If I'm working with someone that's struggling in love, maybe they went through a lot of breakups. What my affirmation says is, my heart is a mansion filled with many rooms that have yet to be explored. What this is telling the mind is that I'm opening my heart to love again. But because I'm framing it like a rhythmic riddle, it bypasses the mind's defenses. I hope this isn't getting too scientific, but there's
No, I'm right
strategy
there with
behind what I
you.
do. There's strategy. You have to bypass the left brain, the logical mind, the one that
Mhm.
analyzes, questions, says, nah, you're not loved. Show me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you're saying, my heart is a mansion filled with many rooms that have yet to be explored, you're feeling that you're open.
Hmm.
Say it. Like if you say it, you know what I mean? And then the rhythmic affirmation kicks in. My heart is a mansion, embracing all that I deserve. My heart is a mansion, releasing what no longer serves. What are we saying? We're letting go of what doesn't serve us. We're letting go of the pain. We're bringing in what we deserve. So we're saying all the same stuff, but through a rhythmic riddle.
Through a way you
So
can accept it instead of resisting it with your
yes,
left
yes,
brain.
exactly. The right and left brain are like dancing together. They're like, yeah, my heart's a mansion. Let's do it. You know what I mean? There's no battle. They don't
Oh,
know.
that makes so much sense. That's really smart because
Yeah, so
yeah,
anyone that writes their, so when you write your own, just like create a poem about it.
Mhm.
It's really, it's fun to do, and it really exercises the intuitive side of, your being, and really allows you
Yes.
to learn to speak from your heart, which is only beneficial when it comes to being vulnerable in your intimate relationships.
Right. It's like it really is like learning a new way of being because we've gone through, all these years of our life being taught it's this one way, very logical, very linear, but you have to start exercising your intuition and your creativity and the right side of the brain as well. And I think it's fun. Like for me, like that, it just feels good when you start connecting with that.
Yeah. It's for me, it's like it's a game. Like I always want to crack the code, crack the code. How do I get my right and left brain to communicate with clarity? How do I, I'm such a nerd. I'm such a science nerd. So
Oh,
I
I
love,
am too. No, I love it. So
yeah.
you said this is like a kind of like a reset for your nervous system.
Mhm.
Is there a time frame? Because I know people will probably want to know that. Is this just like an ongoing thing that you do, or is it like you do this every day for 30 days? Like how do you have a certain timing that you recommend with it, other than you said do this like every hour?
They don't have to do it every hour. So it's a 30, my programs are all 30-day programs.
Oh, okay.
You do it for 30 days. However, this becomes your toolbox. And also my audios are so good. That's my new radio. Like I don't even really listen to the radio because why would I if I could be feeding my mind the life that I desire through the stuff I write? But the nervous system training that you learn, like I said, which is 2 minutes, that becomes your toolbox. Take it with you when you go through a breakup, when you get in a fight with your girlfriend, whatever it is. You always have to signal safety to your nervous system, or else you're locking back up. And like you said, your childhood, your parents are like, push it down, push it down, push it down. What you're doing when you push it down is locking it in, locking it in. We are locked up. So it becomes your toolbox. It becomes your go-to to maintain that state of being. Because we all know you can manifest things in and also it's gone the next day,
Oh, yeah.
you
That
know, because we
absolutely
can't maintain the
happens.
vibration. We can't maintain the state of being.
Right. So, and I would think too, just like on the spot, this is helpful. Like, for example, if you're at work and you have, a coworker that is maybe trying to get you riled up or just something, something kind of like toxic situation comes up, you could listen to this. And you said it was what, 4 minutes, like 2 minutes and 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
kind of reset your nervous system to
You don't even
help
have
you
to do
so you
all
don't
that. So
go
for
spiral.
Yeah, yeah, no, but even for like once I'm saying, once you get used to, once you do it a few times, you know how to drop in. So like even just now, before I got on this podcast with you,
Mhm.
they're selling my condo. So they were running late and I was getting stressed out. And I had to sit in the lobby because I felt myself like gripping, bracing. Like it just happens. We do this, you guys. It doesn't have to be an epic trauma. I
Mhm.
just was down in the lobby, just like tapping my heart center right there. And that wasn't working. And so then I swayed. The sway is always for me. You have to listen to your body and let your body guide you. I just was swaying. And it's not even like I'm unsafe, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I had to signal safety
Yeah.
because that's what stress does. It just
Oh,
makes you
yeah.
feel unsafe, even if it's something little as being late to jump on a podcast.
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
can be in your car in traffic if you feel yourself getting like it's okay, you're safe. You're safe in this body. You're safe in this body. It has to be constant.
And I do feel there is such a strong connection between the mind and the body. And I think with mindset work, manifestation work, we focus so heavily on the mind, which, obviously we should, but this is such an important component. If you start with the body and then get into the mindset, it's almost like it's a shortcut to feeling better because again, you can try and try and try with your mind, but if your body feels unsafe, it's going to take that much longer to try to calm down. What if you start with the body and you calm the nervous system, it's easier to get into that mindset or that identity than just trying to force it, right?
Yeah, because like I said, if your body it doesn't feel safe, it's not open. So it doesn't matter what you attract. You'll sabotage it. It will leave. The guy will leave, the money will leave, the opportunity will leave. You can't hold it and it'll feel stressful. because it's not able to like really, it's not able to really get in because you're trying to force yourself to hold it. You're trying to force yourself to hold on. It's like that white knuckle grip. Okay, I got it now, can't lose it. Versus
Right.
if you were just training your nervous system to stay open, like with this relationship, I can't believe I haven't sabotaged it. That's how I know. I'm the queen of sabotage, and we've been like blissful for a year, and I'm just like, oh my God, I see it. I get it now. Oh my God. I feel I'm able to receive, I'm able to hold this love, and just it's just unbelievable. That's how I'm just like, oh my God, this shit works. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
I'm my own test dummy constantly, and I've been playing with it with other things. I called this fella in a while ago, but I wasn't doing the training yet. So it's interesting to see the wobble of your own manifestations. Like they come in, they go out, the person comes in, goes out, goes in, goes out. That's you, unable to hold the
Hmm.
manifestation. But when I started doing this, everything's coming. I'm just like, oh my God, this is epic. We're so powerful.
Yeah. Oh, that's so amazing. Okay, so if someone's listening and they're interested, how do they get started? Where would they find you? How would they listen to the audio?
Yes. So if you go to soulsyncsessions.com, I have added a page that has the experience where you can experience it. Obviously, it's a shorter version. I kind of cut it down, but
Hmm.
you can feel it. You can feel it. And then obviously everything's on the website, all the different audios, all the different nervous system trainings. So it's,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
going to send you
everyone's
one
going to
though.
be
I want you to
running
do
to
it.
do
What are you
that.
working on? What are you working on? I want to send you one for you.
Honestly, I feel like I am in the phase of like just wanting to feel calm and at
Huh?
ease and like in the present moment, not consistently thinking about like what's next, what's next, what's next. I want to be more present and aware. So if
Okay.
you have something for that,
I
that
do.
would be
I know
great.
exactly what I'm going to send you.
Okay.
I do. I'm going to send you. I know exactly what I'm going to send you.
Okay. Yeah,
Perfect.
that's always been the hardest thing for me. I'm always like a forward thinker and I always thought like, oh, that's so great. Like that's such a good quality to have, which it's not like it's bad, but it does pull you out of the present moment. And it's you have to like you have to sit with yourself. And that's what I found too. Like getting into the present moment will change everything.
Oh
And
my
you don't
gosh.
have to go and chase everything all the time.
I'm going to send you something else. I should send you something. If you want to wrap it up on that, I can totally send you a 1 hour walking meditation I created. And it's literally says, stay in step one. That's where the power is, the
Ooh.
momentum, the magic. And
Okay.
it's
I like that.
gorgeous.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, stay in step one. That's where the power is, the momentum, the magic.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'll go do that today.
You'll love it.
What are you currently manifesting in your life? Anything exciting coming up?
I just, for my voice to be globally known and to reach as many people as possible so I can help elevate the conscious collective
I
and get
love
us all
it.
high vibe living as we should be. You know what I mean?
I
When
love
one
that.
rises, we all rise. When one rises, we all rise, guys.
Absolutely. Okay, I have one more question because I thought this would be fun to start asking people. Um, what is, if you can think of something off the top of your head, like what is the best piece of life advice you've ever gotten? Or it could be like a quote or just something. Has there been something where you're just like, oh, and it's like moved you in a new direction in life, or it just hit you really hard? Like, yes, that's what I should.
Like I say, I do a lot of meditating, and most of the stuff I discover is my own spiritual download. But I will just say, in a time of extreme darkness, after, a lot of things that were happening, I heard Joe Dispenza say, if you're waiting, you're not creating. And it was just the
Mhm.
timing of that phrase that hit me.
Mhm.
I wasn't even really doing any of this yet, but for me, it just resonated. It's not so much about how powerful, it's just when it hits you, decides how powerful it is. And in that moment, I was stuck. I was stuck. I'd gone through a breakup, lost my family. I just was just sitting, like waiting for I don't know what, for someone to
Yeah.
come fix me, heal me, love me. And I just heard him say, when you're waiting, you're not creating. And it just really moved me. Not because it was like, oh my God, but it just hit me at the right time.
Oh, it gives me chills. It's like the universe is always communicating. And another reason to be in the present moment, because otherwise you can miss those little subtle cues and signs that come through, but it's like it's always communicating and
Yes.
supporting you, you know?
And it uses tech a lot with me. Like I always I'm not a huge fan of surfing, but when I choose to get on Instagram or YouTube, I'm usually YouTube only. I'll put my hand on my phone and I'll just be like, guide me, speak to me, show me. And usually whatever pops up is like something really powerful.
Oh, that is a good idea. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to do that. Yeah,
But
I
really
don't
getting
like,
sit there for a minute, get in your body, just be intentional and really be like, just guide me. What do I need to hear right now?
oh, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna try that. Thank
Yeah.
you. So many like good pieces of advice today, and everyone can go and check out your audio. Do you want to share like where they can find you on social media, your website,
Yeah.
anything
So my
else?
YouTube channel is my Angela Jean Chat.
Okay.
That's where I'm mainly on YouTube, and then Soul Sync Sessions is where you can demo the experience, which I really hope that you guys do because it doesn't have to be hard. Healing and manifesting does not have to be hard. It can feel good, guys. Follow the feel good.
That's right.
That's the
Okay.
path. That's the path.
Right. Well, I'm sure everyone's going to go and check that out as we speak. And I will link everything in the show notes to make it really easy for everyone to click on. Angela, thank you so much for coming on and sharing so much wisdom.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you back here next time.